nerd for European history, love European history, and I always wanted to go to Florence, and when I went, I was... What the f... Hello? What the f... What's this? Good morning. So after doing the Trimaster 200 plus times on stream without dropping a single Adorn jewel and me slowly losing my mind in the process, some viewers of mine suggested, probably to the benefit of my mental health, to maybe switch it up a bit and try doing some Sanctum instead. Until now, I did not really forget the trauma this place has given me during my first playthrough of the campaign, and I kinda thought that until next league I'm never gonna see this place from the inside ever again. But now I am back to take my revenge. I have been doing Sanctum runs for the past few days now, and I have to say this might be my new favorite way of making some currency, since the results have been pretty amazing. So I wanted to do this detailed guide here, showing you everything that I've learned over the past few days, so you can zoom through Sanctum as well and make some currency while doing it. So why would you ever want to run Trial of the Sekhemas ever again after painstakingly getting your ascendancy points here? I will go over the Moneymakers in detail in another section of the video, but the TLDR here is there are so many different things that can make you some bank here. From magic relics that go up to 30 divines per relic, to an amount of jewels that even the Royal Crown would be jealous of you, to time lost jewels, to Sanctum jewels, and to the Desperate Alliance vase relic here, which enables you to get the Against the Darkness jewel. Of course, the big chase item here, the last flame relic, with whom someone that is definitely not me can attempt a no-hit Sanctum run and get awarded with probably the most broken gear piece in the game, Temporalis. I will go over all the prices and profit calculations in a later part of this video. But now, let me first explain the two different strategies that I am using to go about farming here. So, setup number one here will be the relic hunting strategy. As the name would suggest, this is the one where I am mainly going for only the relics here. We are, of course, looking for the Desperate Alliance, and as I just mentioned before, the big chase item, the last flame here. So my setup for this strategy is going to be 100% quantity of relics. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relics with quantity of relics dropped by monsters. This will get us to 100%. So the end boss is guaranteed to always drop at least 2 relics. With a boon here, we will most likely pretty much always get. I will go over all the boons and all the afflictions in a later part. We are mostly getting 3, sometimes 4 even. There are definitely setups where people are going with even more quantity here. I personally felt that this is the best setup just for me. We are going with 100%. We have 40% movement speed as well. I am also honor resistance capped. I have merchant choices, 6 merchant choices additionally. And I also have monsters have 15% chance to drop double sacred water. I feel like this setup was the best for me, especially when I'm doing this on stream and I'm interacting with my chat and stuff. I don't really need to pay any attention, to be honest, because we are honor capped. We restore pretty much every honor we ever lose pretty much instantly as well with these two. So yeah, we are also very, very fast with our movement speed. So yeah, this is the optimal setup for me. There are definitely ways to do it differently, and definitely ways to get even more relics dropped to you. But for me, this has proven to be the best. What I will say is that this exact setup, the exact relics that I'm running here are gonna be very expensive. So 10% movement speed and 20% quantity of relics drop will be very expensive. You can definitely go for a much cheaper version though. The only thing that I would say is really important is capping the quantity of relics. So definitely go for 100% quantity of relics dropped, and then look for relics with a little bit of movement speed, maybe some honor restored, Yeah, maybe monsters have a chance to drop double Sacred Water. Try to get your honor res up as much as possible, and maybe even try to go for one Tapestry Relic or Amphora Relic with merchant choices as well. You don't have to be like me here and get the super, super good one and super, super expensive ones. You can definitely go a little bit lower here and save some currency. And yeah, but go for 100%. So definitely get 5 relics with 20% quant. So this is my setup for the relic hunting strategy. Like I said, this one is pretty expensive here. It has been paying off very well though. My thought process was as well with this that even if this doesn't work out, or I wanna, it's not working for me or whatever, these do not really lose value. At least they haven't, especially with the inflation going on. You can also just sell them again. So yeah, this money is not lost, and it will also pay off. But yeah, you can also go for the cheaper one. So that is the setup number 1. Setup number 2 is going to be the one we are going to be using once we have farmed up a bunch of Desperate Alliance Vase relics here. Once we have them, we will switch to this setup, which will enable us to get the Against the Darkness Time Lost Diamond. So the boss, the end boss of the Sanctum here, when we actually use this relic, the boss will have 4 times the HP he normally has and does double the damage. So when we kill him and when we successfully do the Trial of the Sekhemas here with this relic enabled, we are gonna get a Time Lost Against the Darkness unique jewel guaranteed. This setup is a little bit different than the other one. We are not going for relic quantity anymore. We still use these 2 Tapestry relics here to cap our honor res and have 6 additional merchant choices. These are the same as the other one. Also the same is this one here with movement speed, and monsters have 50% chance to drop double Sacred Water. The 2 relics that are exclusive to this setup is this one. The merchant has again 3 additional choices and reduced merchant prices, and another merchant has 3 additional choices and reduced merchant prices. The strategy here is to get merchants as fast as possible, to get some Sacred Water and get to a merchant as fast as possible and get the boons we want. I will go over the Boon Priority and the Affliction Priority to avoid in the next chapter of the video. But yeah, the strategy here is to get to a merchant as fast as possible, spend our Sacred Water, and just boon ourselves up crazily. We will basically have every single boon to choose from, so we can just pick and choose, and we go by the priority list I will go over in the next part of the video. And yeah, basically, the more merchants we get more and more powerful, and by the end, we will have every boon activated in the Sanctum, and we are just gonna be indestructible. So then, after we kill the boss, we get the Against the Darkness. So yeah, this is the strategy number 2. The Boon Priority list is basically the same for both setups here. I will go from top to bottom, from most important and priority number 1 to least important, and all the boons that are not on here are, yeah, basically those ones you can pick and choose as you want. But these ones are the most important here, and I will go over in order of priority. So first priority, always Silver Tongue. I should say here, Balbala's Gift is in the end here. It is not the least prioritized, but yeah, you can basically go Balbala's Gift every time. You will get it more than once most of the time. And yeah, always just pick this one first and then pick one that is more expensive. So this is going to be the last here, but you can use this always to save some water, definitely. So first priority, always Silver Tongue. You always want the reduced merchant prices by 50%. It will just enable you to get basically all the boons you want for the time in the Sanctum. Next on the priority list is going to be Hairfoot. Enables you to zoom through this at a speed of lights, especially in the first setup where we already have 30% movement speed or 40% movement speed. if we get Hairfoot on the first merchant again, we are just gonna be so fast. It is not even funny anymore. Look at the full run I will post at the end of the video here. That was basically a run where we had 40% movement speed from the start, and then got Hairfoot on the first merchant. And yeah, we went just, it was a sub 20 minutes run for the whole Sanctum. So yeah, next on the priority list is gonna be Enchanted Urn. This one is very important as well and super strong as well, mainly due to our quantity of relics factor. This will further increase our quantity of relics, and we can go up to 3 or 4 relics dropped by the end boss. So yeah, Enchanted Urn, very important as well. The next 3 here is all gonna be Sacred Water based. So Sacred Water, as you can imagine, is gonna be very important for us to get all the boons that we want. So more Sacred Water found is definitely super nice to have. Upward Path is really, really good. You just stack up your Sacred Water found even more, and especially paired with Sacred Water is found on this floor is doubled. So this enables you to sometimes get like thousands of Sacred Water in a floor and then just buy out the whole shop. And yeah, very, very good. Next one on the priority list is going to be Silver Chalice. The next minor boon you gain is converted into a random major boon. This is very cool as well. Sometimes you have minor boons that you don't really need. So you just pick Silver Chalice, and as the next minor boon, you just pick something that you don't really need, and you get a major boon. So amazing. Next one, Scrying Crystal, also very good. You can see an additional room ahead on the map. Is also very cool to have. If you get even 2 or 3 of those, or you even get the major boon, the All-Seeing Eye, just planning out your whole run is gonna make it much more easy and fast as well. So I didn't include the major boons here. The major boons are still pretty rare, even with choices and stuff. And yeah, with the major boons, you will have to see yourself. It is pretty obvious which one you will need and which one you will not need. Also, of course, the boons that are not on here, there are much more. Those ones you can pick and choose as well. It depends on your class a little bit. For me, as a Spark Stormweaver, for example, I am with a full mana build right now, so I'm not using ES, for example. I'm also not using Evasion or Armor. So all the things that remove or up my defenses or up my ES, those do obviously nothing to me. And also on the afflictions, those same ones, the evasion, the no armor, the no energy shield, those are pretty free for me as well. So on that note, we will go over the afflictions. So same as the boons, we are gonna go over the afflictions here with a priority list. So again, not all of the afflictions are here on the list, but these are the ones that I'm showing right now that I really wanted to mention you really want to avoid. Of course, sometimes it is a little bit different from class to class. I am playing a full mana version of a Spark Stormweaver here. So like I mentioned before, Evasion, Armor, and Energy Shield are the afflictions that I basically always can take because I don't have it anyway. But yeah, it depends a little bit on your class. But I still wanted to mention these affliction here, from absolutely avoid to less avoid, not as bad. But top, we will start with Traditions Demand. The merchant only offers one choice. That is really bad. That is super bad. We have relics with merchant choices. Yeah, we don't want this. We will have a bunch of Sacred Water, a lot of Sacred Water. We really want the merchant to have all the choices. Yeah, never pick this one. Same vein, 50% increased merchant prices. We don't want that as well. One of the worst ones as well here, Hungry Fangs. Monsters remove percentage of your life, mana, and energy shield on hit. That is really, really dangerous. I'm basically the only time I died during my last few days of the Sanctum runs was where I had to take this one and couldn't remove it with some other thing. So that is really dangerous for, I think, any class, not just mine. Next one is going to be Forgotten Traditions. Reduced effect of your non-unique relics. I mentioned it in the boons. The urn is one of the best ones we want to pick, and this is basically the opposite here. So this is what we don't want as well. Next one is Deceptive Mirror. You are not always taken to the room you select. This is obviously something we don't want as well. We want to actually be taken to the rooms we select. Otherwise, our strategy might just get completely screwed over and we get afflictions we don't want. So yeah, don't take this one as well. Low rivers as well. This is not as bad, I would have to say. This is these ones are all pretty bad, but now we are going into a territory where it is already not as bad. 50% less sacred waterfront, reduced movement speed, especially when we have Harefoot and already some relics with movement speed. Worn Sandals is not as bad as well. And also Costly 8 can gain a random minor affliction when you venerate a Marakath shrine, and also gain a random minor affliction when you get another affliction. So basically double affliction. These ones you don't want as well because they're random and you could get one of these, which you don't want. So this is the priority list. As I said, the ones that are not on here are, in my opinion, not as bad. And you can just pick and choose whatever suits you the best. So yeah, that is the afflictions and boons. I will link everything in the description here, everything like the setups, screenshots of the setups, screenshots of the relic setups, and the list of the boons and afflictions. I will link it down here in the description. So let's get to the next part of the video. Additional quick tip here, since I am probably the worst Gauntlet runner to ever grace this beautiful earth, this tip has saved both my life and sanity doing this. If your character is able to use both Frostwall and Blink, you can skip all the Gauntlet doors and make Gauntlet floor look like the laughingstock of the Sanctum family. In general, Blink is just amazing here. I guess sorceresses are on top again. As promised, I will go over all the Moneymakers and their prices at the time of recording. First thing to mention here is that during and after every run, no matter which strategy you are running, you can choose between different chests to open, which will also have the possibility of very expensive stuff dropping. Mainly apart from the regular jewels here and the time lost jewels, you can open a Spectrum chest, which has the possibility of dropping these Spectrum jewels. While the ruby here is basically worthless right now, this emerald goes for 200x uncorrupted and unidentified. But this sapphire here goes at the time of recording for a whopping 10 divine uncorrupted, with successful corruption bringing thus up even more. The Desperate Alliance Vase Relic goes for 2 divines at the time of recording, so this can be another way of making a quick buck if you don't want to actually run setup number 2. If you decide to run the Alliance Relic, and Undead Identified Against the Darkness goes for 4 divines right now. So this Against the Darkness here, unidentified right now 4 divines. Identifying it yourself, of course, opens Pandora's box of gambling. These can be basically worthless or go up to more than 200 or more divines. If you are lucky enough to drop one of the Last Flame relics, consider yourself rich. At the time of recording, this is going for about 330 divines. If you decide to not sell this relic and Giga Chat your way into a no-hit run to receive the Temporalis Silk Road, I mean, why are you even still watching? I think you should teach me your ways by now. So, just to reiterate again, the chest priority after completing the run is always going to be Spectrum, Time Lost, Royal, and as a backup, you could also go for Arcanist, Amulet, or Rings. But the most important one is Spectrum, then Time Lost, then Royal. So, next chapter is going to be my selling strategy after completing a bunch of runs. To be as time efficient as possible, after every run or during the runs, I mainly just dump my relics here into a big quad stash tab. Unidentified like this, I just dump them in. And when I am done with my runs, this stash tab is full. And my strategy then is to just take them out. I will just take a few here. Let's take some seal relics, for example. Then I identify them. I go for the transmute here to see what it is. And then they go into another tab, which is called Sanctum Small Relics here. And then they go in here. And once this tab is full, instead of just going over every single relic here one by one, you can just go for example, you are looking for movement speed. This is very desirable. So you are just looking for relics with movement speed here. Is there a 10% one? Is there? No. Then we also go for quantity of relics And look again, do we have anything here? Doesn't seem like it. I mean, here we have like 18%, 16% quantity of relics dropped and maximum honor. We could now price check a little bit and see what it is worth. So that has cut down my time here as well. Instead of just looking at every single one by one, I just basically go from top to bottom here. I get them into my inventory. I identify them. I dump them in here, the small ones in here, the large ones in here. I fill this up. And then I look for the desirable relics that can actually sell for a hefty amount. So it ranges from between 1 or 2 divines to up to 30 divines per relic. You can get rich just by selling magic relics. Also, don't forget, when you have a bunch of relics that are completely worthless, use your reforging bench here to get even more. So this is probably the way I've made most money so far by now. So once a relic is worth something, I put it into my relic sales stash here. I just put them in for now, and then I price check everything, and then I sell it. So once again, dump everything in here. Then once you are done, you take the relics you want to identify out. You identify them. You go into your currency stash and transmute them, and then you dump them in here. So you are actually able to look for the ones that are desirable. I will attach a list of what the most desirable relics are at the bottom of the video here as well, so you can know that as well. And yeah, this way, I kind of thought it is the best way to be as time efficient as possible to find the relics that are most worth something, instead of just wasting all your time just looking at every single one by one. Yeah, I think this is very efficient to do it like this. And yeah, you can just make most money, I would say, with these ones, except, yeah, apart from the other stuff that we already made a lot of money here with. The relics, the magic relics are a very good way of making a bunch of money as well. That is it for my complete Sanctum running guide here. I really hope this video helped some of you out. A lot of work went into this video, so if you like this type of content, consider following. I am streaming every day here on YouTube and Twitch, Monday to Friday, 8 AM CET. We also do special streams on the weekend. This coming Sunday, the 9th of February, I will do a big special Gamba identifying and corruption stream. So if you want to see that, tune in on Sunday, 6 PM CET, and watch me burn all of my currency. If you want to learn more about Sanctum running and watch me do it live, you can tune into the stream next week, since this is my go-to farm right now. Or you stay on this video and watch a full run using the relic hunting setup strategy right after this outro. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Love you. Bye.